Hello, my friends. Welcome in. It is the final episode of our 8 Kids in 5 Continents experiment. We have got a lot to cover, so I hope you'll stick around. Before we get to that, I do want to mention FM19 is right around the corner. The beta usually comes out about 2 weeks in advance. I'll be obviously having some series going then. I hope to have a trailer up maybe the week of, maybe the week before the beta drops. We are going to be doing this type of experiment a couple different ways in Football Manager 2019. So if you've enjoyed this series, make sure you hit that subscribe button with the little notification bell so you get notified when a new video goes up. So here's a list of some of the things we're going to look at today. First, we're going to look at Jason Duncan's career. You might be wondering, why did this video take so long to come out after the last one? The answer is Jason Duncan's career. He got into coaching and it went until, if you could tell all the way up there, 2069, my friends. Oh yes, we will take a look at his career. We're going to look at the potential ability of every player at the start of this experiment. I have every year saved as a separate save file, so we can go all the way back to when I first set it up, before we even vacationed through the first year, to look at the potential ability of our players, to see who had the highest actual potential ability inside the database. We'll take a look at stuff like the World Cups, the Euros, Champions League, all that kind of stuff, just at a high level. I'm not going to go deep dives on those. I guess we'll look at the Europa League. We'll try and look at the players that had extensive international careers to see what types of tournaments they played in. Were they playing in just all friendlies, or did they go deep into some of those types of tournaments that I just mentioned? We'll take a look at their career achievements, milestones, things like that. We'll look at each nation, especially of the players that had extensive careers, the record goal scorers, number of appearances, stuff like that. We'll look at their transfer fees, like their total combined transfer fees, career appearances, career goals, all those types of things. There are going to be things I'm sure that I'm forgetting that you want to see. I'm going to ask you to do this. You can leave a comment, and I will do my best to go back and look at the thing as long as it's relevant to these 8 kids. We had some other things in the comments with like individual players and teams that weren't involved in the experiment. I don't really have time to do that. But if it's about these players and we don't look at it, there's going to be a lot that I'm trying to pack into this episode. So if I miss it, just let me know. All right, without further ado, let's take a look at Jason Duncan's career. All right, my friends, Jason Duncan is 67 years old. He's about to be in the game 68. His birthday's July 1st. It's currently, again, May 22nd, 2069. As you can see, he has been an assistant coach for quite some time. It's really unbelievable. He got up to an 8.99 on the man management and judging player ability and potential, which part of me is like, well, that's a significant improvement, because he was on like really poor ratings, and he turned out to be quite the good overall coach as well. So he's useful to those managers. I didn't see his wages go past $8.25 as a coach, so maybe that's fair. I don't really. I mean, hopefully with inflation in 2069, you'd be making more than the same every year. But just like, we will look at his overall career. But it's just like Excelsior. He was the interim head coach once. He was the interim head coach at GVVV in the past. He was an assistant coach from 2047 to 2069. The man has to be a legend. Like, that is 22 years as an assistant manager. I mean, let's just go look. I mean, surely, right? Surely he is. How is that even possible? He's not even on the favorite personnel, or I mean, unacceptable. Unacceptable. He's like the bedrock of the club. Now, to be fair, they only earned 1 promotion and then were immediately relegated in his time with the club. And they just finished 19th. Not exactly the way you want to finish. But still, I mean, that's impressive to me. Before that, he was in Cliftonville for a season, I guess, or half of a season as an assistant coach. Cliftonville, obviously, in Northern Ireland. I think I knew that at some point. He was the head coach for PEC Zwolle. And again, this may be doing stuff that we saw in previous episodes. I just think the career path is quite interesting. Young Vitesse for 4 seasons as a reserves assistant coach. GVV, as we mentioned, 2 years as the assistant coach, with part of that being an interim. Camber before that, and then his playing career. But I just think this is fascinating that he was there for so very, very, very long. Like, it's, I mean, really. I'm just looking at, I mean, really, he doesn't have any awards, nothing. Nothing happened in his entire Excelsior career other than he was the caretaker manager. You kind of go, I mean, does it not track stuff, I guess, as an assistant? Because as the head coach, you could see all the different things. So that's got to be what it is. I mean, it's got these appointing people as captains because he's the reserves assistant coach. That's curious that it doesn't have for 22 years. You get nothing. You get absolutely nothing. Okay, I thought that was interesting. What we'll do now is I'm going to go find the first year when we first set everything up. Let's go look at the potential ability of our players. I'm going to give you a second. While I go do that, make sure you hit the pause button right after I finish this phrase and let me know who you think had the highest potential ability, and then we'll see if you're right. All right, let's count down. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Here we are. Let's, for the man who never left the Canadian amateur leagues, let's start with Mr. Greg Baxter. Take a look. Oh, look at all those 10s. So much potential in front of him. And it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. Current ability 70. Potential ability. Oh, it hurts. 176. I want to say I set their potential abilities between 170 and 200. Like, there's a way in the editor, if you're not familiar, to essentially say I want something in this range, but don't tell me what it is. I'm 90% sure it's 170 to 200 is the range, so technically in the lower end of that range, but still 176 potential ability is massive. That's a bit gutting, to be honest with you. All right, Jason Duncan, who we just saw. 173, okay. Makes sense. Gerardo Chavarria. Do we have any really high attributes? I'm just curious. 177? They're all in the 170s. That's a bit odd. Like, I'd expect like a 180, 190, something like that. Matt Broadway had a good career, 175. So was it helped that he started out in Europe, you know, where there are probably going to be more scouts? Byron Hill, who was also one of our early casualties, 177 potential ability. Gregory Bros. How you doing, Gregory? 170. Okay. Dustin Krause and I'm going to butcher this. I'm sorry. It's been a minute since I've recorded this series. Tajikstani. Hopefully that's correct. The legend. 199. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. And you can see it. There were, I gave him 12 ambition, professionalism. I tried to make him a little more ambitious and a little more professional to help them along, but not so much that it was aggressive. And then Toby Marchant had a good career. 179. That to me is really weird. We had a bunch of players all in that 170 grouping and one player at 199. Nothing between 180 and 198. That to me is a bit strange, honestly. Huh. I think that's rather weird. Okay, now let's take a look at something like the World Cup. I've not done this in advance, if you can't tell. We're just going to look at past winners, just do a quick... Oh, haha! I'm in the current year. 1 second. All right, here's the World Cup winners. It really doesn't look like that many, and then you realize, oh, it's every 4 years. So, 2018, you've got France winning it. Good job, football manager. Italy, Portugal, France again, Belgium, Germany finally back in it, Belgium again, France again, Holland with the double, Belgium again, Holland again, and Spain. France in the mix for the runner-up 3 times and a 3rd place in there. England getting a 3rd place a couple times. Germany consistently in the running, just it took them a while to break through. That's kind of interesting to me. Champions League, let's take a look. Give it a second. I mean, we are well into. Look at that. Look at PSG, Bayern, Chelsea, RB Leipzig on a run. Tottenham winning the Champions League a couple of years. RB Leipzig, what a run by RB Leipzig. Man City, Chelsea, Man United. I'm just looking for RB Leipzig. To me, is the biggest. Like, wow. Leverkusen in 2033/34. Milan finally breaking part of the mold there in 3031. AS Monaco, Atletico Madrid in 1718. Let me know if any of this surprises you. I just want to again, we're just going to look at a very high level of this stuff. I guess we'll start down here. All right, Europa League, Arsenal, Sporting, Chelsea. I mean, you still have some of the teams that got bumped out of the Champions League is my guess landing here. Juventus, Liverpool, it's all over the place, really. Leipzig a couple times, which makes sense if they got really good and they were constantly in the Champions League and then, you know, getting kicked down at some point into the Europa League. But it's not like you have a consistent way. Brighton has won the Europa League 3 years, not in a row, but 3 years out of, what is that, 5? That's not bad returns. Arsenal, oh, always the bride at the altar, or some other weird phrase that I'm going to make up for you. Is it as the Euros in here? All right, European Championship is what it's called, apparently. As you might expect, France, England winning the Euros. France, Portugal, Germany, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Germany, Switzerland. To me, the one surprise. I mean, I know they're a pretty good team, but when you look at these teams, you go, yeah, oh, when you see Switzerland. At least that's what I do. So apparently they got rid of third place. Apparently they really did stop caring about third place. I thought that was based off the database. Shows how much I know. All right, my friends, I have to show this to you. So we have one of my patrons who has been one of my patrons since pretty much the beginning, if not the very beginning, Eduardo Valente, tracked everything that he saw in the series on this spreadsheet. What I'm going to do, I'm going to host this inside the Discord. If you want to see it, our Discord community link is in the bottom. You can come in, join. There'll be a link to it where you can download it. I'm impressed. So I can't go over every single thing because we are going to show this I'm going to look at each individual player, but I just want to show you the amount of effort he put into this. And it's, as a content creator, it is so cool to me that someone took the time to do this, because it means they're invested in not only the series, but in the channel. I don't know what happened to my voice there. That was weird. But it really means a lot, man. I really appreciate it, Eduardo. So as you can see, he tracked current year here and looked at those things. So we can look at it year by year. What I was really interested in when I first saw this was the total value of our squad, right? If you looked at it as our 8 kids, what is their total value based on what the game is saying? So we started off, I mean, quite impressively at the end of year 1 with essentially 361,000 in value, then 373, 900 grand, $1 million, and then you just keep going, right? 3 million, it dropped a little bit to 2.3, then it's back up to 4.8. I want to say it peaked because we had Matt going, you know, he was doing good things with Swansea. He's worth 20.5 million. That's 26,855. Then he's still with Swansea at 24 million. So I mean, we have fewer players, but you know, this is where Dustin's kind of hitting hitting a good form, I guess, with Fenerbahce, and Matt was doing well at Swansea, so he's 24 million. So up to 31.162 million euros, and then it starts to drop because Matt dropped like 7 million, and it kind of falls from there. I thought that was pretty interesting. He also tracked the gold stars, like the reputations of the players, and the highest one, unless I'm wrong, that I saw was Matt Broadway being 2 gold star reputation, which really, I mean, I think that's impressive considering, you know, how his career path went. And the rest, the max they were was 1 gold or 1.5 gold stars, which was Dustin Cross when he moved to Fenerbahce. I thought that was kind of cool. So again, I'm gonna upload this to the Discord. There's a way in Discord where you can pin a message. I will pin it that way so you can go look. It shows all their caps and all that kind of stuff. So I guess, looking at it, is there an easy way that I can show you this? Like if I just come in here and I hide these columns, there's a way to hide columns, right? Don't you love when you click on the wrong thing? So Matt Broadway with the 91 senior, or is that what it ended up as? Yeah, okay. 34 goals in 91 caps. Gerardo with 2 senior goals and 14 caps. We won't talk about Gregory Bros. It's unfortunate. 1 senior cap. And then Jason and Greg never even got a shot. Byron Hill with 17 senior caps of 4 goals. Dustin Cross, 65 goals and 87 caps. Surely, when we go to look, he's got to be legend status, right? And then Toby Marchant for Bhutan, 24 goals in 72 caps. It shows their number of teams here. I believe this has been bumped down on accident, so if we just grab it and pull it up, I think this is accurate. So the most teams with Gerardo Chavarria kind of bouncing around South America there. Greg Baxter, obviously, with the 1. Byron Hill with the 2. But I think this is phenomenal work. I think Eduardo deserves a shout-out by all of you in the comments. It's just really impressive to me. All right, so now let's hop back into Football Manager and take a look at their individual, like the milestone page and all that kind of stuff. All right, so now we've entered the phase of looking at each individual player, and I've gone back to the last point we had a save file where they hadn't disappeared. So Greg disappeared after the season when we saved on July 2nd of 2024. And as you can see, this is like the sad one. So, don't get bummed out. It's fine. 93 total appearances, 40 goals, 17 assists, 8 players of the match on a 7-3-7. Playing in some amateur, non-sanctioned, non-FIFA sanctioned league. Just doing a great job and just nothing happening. Milestones, none. But now let's move on and look at the next player. All right, now I've hopped ahead to 2027. So this is when Byron Hill and Gregory Bros disappeared after this save file. So let's go take a look at their careers. As you can see, Byron with the very interesting Liberia to Chile move. 15 grand was the total spent on him. He had 187 total first team appearances, 80 goals, 26 assists, 3 players in the match, and a 7-1-4. I'm honestly surprised. I think this might be the most surprising one. I mean, you can argue with Greg Baxter. He had a high potential ability, but, we put him apparently in an amateur league and FM elected not to take him someplace, right? But Byron moved to an actual division that you can play. I think I'm 90% sure you can play in Football Manager. It's in here. You can click on it. I had it loaded, all that. And the fact that, his first season, not the best, right? But he came in the middle of the season. He comes in the next season. He has a 7.0 on only 6 appearances, but then he has 29 appearances with 9 goals. All starts on a 6.87, and then that's the end. That surprised me the most because you could say in Liberia, okay, it's a league that's not playable, and obviously he's very good and whatever, but it's not like he was a 5, right, in Chile in the Primera Division B. So why didn't he get picked up? Milestones, we're just going to look at landmarks, international debut, and goal in the same game for Liberia, and then he got relegated. Landmark, right? Awards, anything impressive here? I may miss some of this. Seasonal best 11 for Liberia. Seasonal best 11, overall best 11. So he breaks again. Okay, with that, inducted into San Marcos de Arica, overall best 11, and yet can't get a move after that. That is confusing to me. Liberia seasonal best 11. So and again, he's still getting appearances. This is after the San Marcos thing. He was still playing for Liberia. I think that's kind of hilarious. But that's the interesting parts with Byron Hill. Sorry if I've missed something that you wanted to maybe. Okay, we just looked at entire career. Just checking. Gregory Bros had 33.25 thousand euros spent on him. Really from one club who didn't play him, but loaned him for 4 games. Kind of an interesting thing. And then he moved on a free. 222 appearances. We talked, if you somehow didn't see that episode, we think there was an issue with the game engine because in Zambia it's supposed to be like a bunch. Someone left a really detailed comment about this, where there's like supposed to be a bunch of different groups that roll up into like a promotion system somehow, and they played all the other teams, which obviously gives you an insane amount of games. Like 56 games in one season is quite crazy, and to only score 13 goals, but he got 14 assists. Positive. So 222-ish appearances, 76 goals, 34 assists, 16 players in the match, and like this is after he leaves. Like these are like real teams on a 7-1-3. What could have been? What could have been? Let's look at the milestones, entire career. Let's go look at landmarks. Made his international debut versus Benin. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. Is that really all you're gonna give us? Okay, no, okay. That's talking about released and being bought. Overall, when I read overall, I'm thinking it's everything, but apparently that's not the case. So let's look at the awards. Player of the Year, Portuguese Second League Team of the Week, Seasonal Best 11. Not a whole lot going on there. Shows us transfers. Yay. One senior cap. Not worth looking at that. Okay, let's go look at the next. All right, now we're in 2036, which was the last year we saw 3 players, Matt, Jason, and Dustin. At least from a professional career standpoint. In terms or playing career, not necessarily coaching. So let's go take a look here. Matt, Jason, and Dustin. I've not got it pulled up. I was looking at the spreadsheet again. Eduardo, super valuable. Oh no, never mind. Okay, those guys retired, but then they became coaches. So that's different from the others. So Matt Broadway, we could still go back and take a look at his career stats and his milestones. Not a big deal. Let's hop in here. So Matt with the very interesting Basement Young Men, which again, I think is, we had a couple people comment said, oh, it's like down the street from me. I'm like, send me a picture. It's grayhairgaming@gmail. Send me a picture of the Basement Young Men logo, because apparently there's also a rooftop. I don't know if it's Rooftop Young Men, but it should be. That is amazing. So Basement Young Men to Cardiff, to Coventry on loan, to back to Cardiff, then to Shrewsbury, and I'm probably butchering all this, to Cardiff, to QPR, to Cardiff, to Portsmouth, to Cardiff, and then Hull finally drops 1.5 million on him, 9 million to Swansea 5 years later, and then on a free to wrap up his career with Rangers. Fascinating. So 10.56 million spent on him, 486 career appearances, 125 goals, 34 assists, 27 players of the match with an average rating of 6.79. Don't talk about it. I mean, it was good until it wasn't. But I mean, let's look at Hull, because he was kind of left to hang out to dry a little bit by Cardiff. I mean, they did loan him out at the end and he got some appearances, but like it was kind of meh with Cardiff, to be honest with you. Like, this was a lost season. This was kind of a lost season at the beginning. This was a lost season. So he goes to Hull, he gets 36, 45, 44, 41 appearances. Look at all the goals and assists. Was it 12, 18 players of the match right here, all in the championship, to be fair. And then he moves up to the Premier League, gets 2 more players in the match, but he's still producing. Just the rating just wasn't necessarily there. Milestones. Okay, landmarks. We'll look at those first. Senior debut, the Carabao Cup with Cardiff, so they did give him a debut, I suppose. And then senior debut. What is with my language? Senior debut, Sky Bet League 2 with Coventry, and then he gets a senior goal that year as well. First senior goal. International debut versus Argentina with Northern Ireland. Good luck, son. And he scores a goal, of course. So I maybe didn't need the luck. Overall, there's a lot. Let's go. Seasonal best 11, Northern Ireland. Team of the week. I wish it would give you like the one. I don't care about team of the week, you know? QPR seasonal best, team of the week, seasonal best. Hull seasonal best 11. He inducted into. Oh wait. Okay. overall best 11 for Hull. The overall best 11. That's quite the achievement. Named in Hull seasonal best 11 again. Northern Ireland seasonal best 11. You'd think with all the appearances he would have like made some sort of Northern Ireland like permanent list. Okay, there it is. Inducted in the Northern Ireland overall best 11 in 2029. Seasonal, all seasonal, team of the week, seasonal. Wait, I saw an overall there. Swansea overall best 11. I mean, that was at the tail end of his career too. So he's made a couple of overall best 11s. Not bad. We already looked at that, and we've already seen the transfers. I think that's quite impressive. That's quite the career. Now, with all of his appearances, can we go back and let me go see if I can show you what types of competitions he was playing in. Maybe that'll help us out. All right, so we went back to his first international cap and goal against Argentina in a friendly. I mean, it was 3-1. I mean, you scored in the same game that Messi scored in, so positives. It's not showing me the rosters. Maybe after a certain period of time, it's like you don't get to see the roster, so we can only kind of see if he scored in games. He scored against San Marino in World Cup qualifiers. I'm not going to show you all these. I'm just going to kind of look a little bit. We're just looking for the name. I guess we could. It shouldn't take that long, really, because we're just looking for names. We unfortunately can't look at every single, roster. Scores. He's still playing in 2025 against Macedonia in World Cup qualifiers. Paddy McNair. Now that is a Northern Ireland name, isn't it? I think so. Don't see him here. I'm just making sure I don't miss. Okay, I could probably go look to see when he retired from international, but what's the fun in that? Scored against Finland in a 3-2. I mean, 21,000 people were there. Quite an interesting away game. And he scored a brace in the first 8 minutes against Andorra. Get it. Hey, you do what you can. I think I said that during that episode. Malta picks up a brace as well. Not bad. Scores a hat trick against Andorra again. Score against who you can, right? 1-1 against Moldova with the equalizer there in the 56th minute. And then he scores the only goal against Croatia. Brace against Finland. Latvia. It's not the potential best, competition. Cameroon in a friendly. Israel in Euro qualifiers. He's still it's 2031. That's 11 years after his debut. He's still plugging along. That's quite the good international career, to be fair. Beating Serbia, getting a goal there, and getting he's scoring early. I like it in a lot of these. Scores one against Norway and Macedonia and Ireland. Ooh, the derby. Scores one here against Liechtenstein. I love saying that. Liechtenstein. Slovenia, they get the win. Croatia again with the draw. So you can kind of see we could probably slow down now, but a lot of this is in the League of Nations, is what I think this is called now in real life. If I'm thinking that's the exact same competition. World Cup qualifiers, Euro qualifiers. Doesn't look like they ever made that, but against not terrible competition in some instances, and in some other instances kind of just okay competition. Although he did score. They beat Italy. Now maybe Italy had already qualified and was like, send out whoever, or they had someone sent off. Maybe that's what it was. So that's probably the highlight. You scored against Italy and won in the Euro qualifiers Group F, my friend. Goodness, that is quite the career. And then after that, it goes dark. All right. So that was a deep dive on Matt Broadway, but let me go pull up the next one. Oh, and last but not least, he is a legend of Northern Ireland. That is awesome. Okay, let's go back. I got Dustin Cross here. We'll look at Jason Duncan. We're going to go all the way to his coaching career milestones. Pull that back up just for giggles. Dustin Krause, 5.23 million euros spent on him. A whopping 825. I love that. with his first transfer, and then they sell him for $235K. I remember being shocked by that, and it's like, wow, what? I mean, that is the move for this club. Like, congratulations. Then he goes to Fenerbahce for $3.4 million. They sell him off for $1.6 to AEK after he has quite the run of games and seasons with him. And then he goes on a free to Slovenia. Kind of, you know, does a bit of a tour. You know, I love it. Kind of like, you know, Eastern Europe, Western Asia type situation going on. Love it. 489 appearances, 131 goals, 66 assists, 16 players in the match on 694 milestones. Won the Turkish Cup is what I'm going to guess that says. Runners up in the Asian Confederation Cup, not bad. First international goal against Cambodia. Didn't score on his debut because that was against Bangladesh. Landmarks, okay, we already looked at that. Oh, that's a lot, isn't it? Let's go look at the awards. Okay. Golden Boot runner up in 2031 when he's not you know, I mean, yeah, he's probably still in his prime then. Seasonal best, team of the week. Fenerbahce overall best 11, not bad, son. That's a pretty good list to get into. All of these are all teams of the week. Kardemir Karabukspor overall best 11. Named in 2025 Asian All-Star 11. Named, so does that mean he was a substitute or something like that? Maybe. Tajikistan seasonal best 11. Does he not make the... Okay. 2019. I was like, there's gotta be... Why isn't there more Tajikistan stuff? Because he should be in the overall best 11. In 2019, 2 years after showing up, he's in the overall best 11. That's amazing. And he's still there. 26 appearances. Wait. That can't be right, because he had a bunch more appearances, right? But maybe this is when he was inducted. 14 goals on a 7-1-2. Huh. Interesting. He's not a they don't even have legends. They just said, we don't want them. We're not interested in having legends. That's a bit surprising with the 87 caps and 65 goals. Surely, well, in our minds, we could say Dustin Cross was a legend. I mean, surely, right? I just realized because we went through that, we probably don't need to go through all of the competitions. Like, I can click through really quick, and if there's something that inspires you, you can stop and look. I mean, he was getting... Did he get looks the very, very first part? No. At least from a goal-scoring standpoint. Scores a brace. That wasn't his debut. Bangladesh was his debut. Doesn't score. That's Asia Cup qualifiers, Group C. Friendly, scores a brace. Then he kind of goes on a bit of a drought from scores against Singapore, the Asian AFC World Cup qualifiers, second round. Friendlies. I mean, Northern Mariana is not exactly, I'm guessing, the best competition. Although, to be fair, it is Tajikistan, so maybe. I have no idea. I don't know the level. Scores a hat trick against Bhutan. Ooh, little action between our teams there. Scores the first minute goal against Sri Lanka. Oh, I love early goals like that. That's just epic, completely epic in my opinion. Scores in a friendly against Pakistan, Lebanon, Macau, Vietnam. I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like legitimate games in a row. He scored at least one goal and pretty much carried them. I mean, not by himself, but did they not qualify because they lost one game? That would be a bit disappointing. Or did it keep going? Second round. I mean, let's just count the points. This is an offshoot. I understand. 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. That's 12 points, 13 points, 15, 18 points. Surely they qualified. But apparently not. 2024. Or did it just keep going? I have no idea. So, that's kind of like none of our. I don't think any of our players made it to like the World Cup or any of the big competitions like that. But pretty interesting. If again you want to look at all these years, you can pause the video. Yeah, my head's not in the way. Good deal. Again, look at this run. This is unbelievable. Again, I understand the competition's not the best, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 competitive games. If we go back to the last one, 7, 8. Hold on. 9, 10. Okay. 10, 11, 12 competitive games, like meaningful, non-friendly games in a row with at least 1 goal. And he's not a legend. Shame on Tajikistan. All right, we're hopping ahead to look at Gerardo Chavarria. This is the year he became a coach because he left Karabag. Sorry again about pronouncing that incorrectly. 5.35 million euros spent on him. Again, a very interesting career, in my opinion, right? Helped me learn a little bit about South America. So we had Chile, going to Colo Colo, which apparently is one of the very big teams theirs. Goes on loan, comes back. They loan him again to Brazil Serie A, back to Colo Colo, where he finally like breaks into the team. Vasco da Gama, another big team. Botafogo, another like these are legitimate teams, like Serie A teams. 4.1 million. Gerardo was the guy that had like the 32 or 35 million euro clause on his head, and I get, again, they don't want the big teams all scooping up all the talent in Brazil, but it just seems a bit excessive to me. But 414 total appearances, 85 goals, 23 assists, 14 players in the match. Best season. I mean, do you really count 4 appearances? I don't think you should. I think 20 appearances with 9 goals on a 704 in Serie B for Figueirense. Sorry again about the pronunciation. I mean, I think that's really his best actual season. Landmarks: debut against Copa Chile MTS, and his first goal. Theoretically, that's the same game. For Santiago Wanderers, senior debut for. Is this the competition? Instead, never mind. Won the Supercopa Chile. I'm not editing this out. I'm learning, right? I do not know South America. I hope to do a South America save in FM19. Winners of the Supercopa Chile, international debut versus Denmark. That's legitimate. And first international goal 2 years later. It took a while against Uruguay. Won the Brazilian Bahia State Championship twice, 2 years running. Got relegated a couple times. Kind of unfortunate. Did he make any? I mean, seasonal best 11 and 2032. That's pretty good. Considering he didn't get that many looks, is what it feels like. Team of the week, blah blah blah. Yeah, just seasonal best 11s. I don't. Okay, Colo Colo overall best 11. Surely he's not there still. No, he's been replaced. Yeah, he's not on the list anymore. Unfortunate. But overall, not a bad little career. Not a bad little career at all. All right. Now, my friends, let's go look at Toby Marchant. Let's just type him in. Because, again, he wasn't on the player short list because he's run off to become an assistant coach. All right, the man who made the South Korea tour, or like really just made it his home for, what is that, 15 years? Impressive. 398 total appearances. 16,250 euros spent on him. And it's at the very end. I love that. I love this part of his career. He has all these appearances, moves clubs a couple times, comes back, and the only time anybody spent money on him was at the very end of his career. I love that. I think that's a little something special from FM18 there in the database. But again, 398 appearances, not as many as some of the others, but not bad. 99 goals, that's 1 every 4. 40 assists, 9 players of the match on 688. I guess I didn't look at some of the other ones in terms of best career year. This looks pretty good. 15 appearances on a 7.1. I mean, Brothers United, right? He played all the time, but at what level? You know, maybe not the best level. But this Challenge League year here, that's legitimate competition on a 7.1. We'll count it, I think, is what we'll say about that. All right, my friends, last but not least, let's go take a look at Jason Duncan. All right, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. We already looked at this part, but I just love the variety of clubs. I didn't love it in the moment when he wasn't getting playing time. Then he goes back to Holland for, goes back home, settles down. We didn't look at his best career year. I mean, the one game with a goal and an 8.0 is pretty good season, but really it's quite poor, to be completely honest with you, just because there's not as many appearances, and that's what's kind of unfortunate. So this is probably his best season. AFC Jubilee League, 31 appearances, 8 goals on a 6.78. It's all right. Landmarks, debut and first senior goal for FC Oss. Got relegated. I guess that's a landmark. Sure. Seasonal best, team of the week. Yeah. His career just didn't. That part of his career just didn't come off. But then you have him turning into the only one that had like a coaching career, which is just kind of hilarious to me. We don't have the coaching career stats because I didn't go to 2069 for that, but there's no need to. We already looked at it. But just as a reminder, he started off with a 1.34 on his assistant coach attributes that are key, and he finishes with an 8.99. And these all improved too. So good on you, Jason. You killed me with having to vacation all the way to 2069, though. Like, it took forever. But congrats. I did have one request. I meant to do this to look at some of the cups in South America. I think that's only fair because we had players playing there, and I already showed you the Champions League, the Europa League, and the Euros. So let's go take a look at that, and then we'll wrap the episode. All right, first up, we have Copa America. You can see the winners here. Not really any surprises. Lots of Brazil and Argentina, and then Chile coming in. Brazil not even in second or third. That's a bit of a surprise. Mexico winning it with Ecuador as the runner-up, and Uruguay in third place. That's a bit surprising to me. The Ecuador is a surprise to me. I'm not sure why. I think it's because when I was looking for leagues to put players in, the Ecuadorian league was really, really low rating, but not low enough to qualify for the experiment. But the fact that they've come in second and third a couple times is kind of impressive to me. There was another one, Copa Total Sudamericana. I don't know if this is if this is what we were looking for, because I don't know South American leagues, but I'm just gonna leave this up like this. If something appeals to you when you're looking at this, let's do this. It's past my head. All right, so you can see you can go back and pause it there. I'm gonna let you pause it here. I think you could see everything there. If you can't, there you go. So pause that if that's of interest to you, because congrats, Velez, 2068. Yeah. And this was the last one, the Copa Libertadores, potentially. Again, I'm not sure who like the teams that you'd expect to win these competitions are, so I'm going to say you can pause it now. And then I'm going to roll up here so it gets past my face. And then you can pause it here. Again, I'd love to know in the comments if there's something here like, I can't believe Gremio won, the Libertadores. Then let me know, because again, part of me being on YouTube doing Football Manager is to learn more about world football, and this applies, right? This is an educational experience for me. And that, my friends, is where we will bring this experiment to a close. I just want to say thank you for all the support. We literally added more than 1,000 subscribers off of this series. The last time I checked the first episode, it had over 26, I think 25 at least, 1,000 views. I hope you were entertained. I know we had some people that said, you know, you should have changed the attributes where it wasn't all 10s. That's a fair point. We're going to make changes in Football Manager 2019 because, again, I think I said this at the beginning part of the episode, but it's been a couple hours now that I've been recording, going through all this. We will do some things differently in Football Manager 2019. Same type of experiment. We've got a bunch more patrons. So thank you for everybody that's joined the patronage. I will figure out a way to include you. It may not be in every series, right? We may do a 10 kids in this way series and another 10 kids in this type of series, but we will figure that out. I appreciate the constructive feedback. I appreciate all the props and like thumbs up and support in the comments as well. Again, I will put that spreadsheet that Eduardo Valente put together in the Discord. And thank you so much for doing that, Eduardo. And let me know if there's something that I missed or that something in those last couple of competitions when we were looking at it that spoke to you. You're like, hey, you know, you show that. I'll be glad to go in. I'm not going to do a separate video, but I'll respond to comments as best as I can to give you the detail that you want to see. So give it one last round of thumbs up on that like part of the video. Again, if you haven't subscribed by now, make sure you do that with the notification bell. We'll see you in FM19 and, you know, the other FM18 series on the channel too. You should just go watch those too. All right, have a good one. Bye.